Italian learners here on LanguaJob.com. We're going to talk about Italian plurals, which unfortunately are not always regular. So I hope you will enjoy this lesson, and let's start with the presentation. Rules and exceptions of Italian plurals. That's the title of today's presentation, but we won't focus much on rules, rather on the exceptions of Italian plurals. I know that this is a problem of Italian grammar. There is a rule and there are a lot of exceptions to this rule. It can be difficult to understand, I know, but if you practice a lot, if you listen a lot, that's maybe even more important in certain situations. If you listen a lot and practice your Italian, you can make it. Okay. First things first, let's talk about me for a second. I am Silvia Perrone and I have created italian.com, a website where you can learn everything about the Italian language, Italy, Italians, and all those little things that make you love Italy. I teach Italian to beginners, especially those of you who believe that learning Italian is too much of a challenge. You don't have enough time. You're not good at languages. You can do it. Trust me. Let's move on to our presentation now. This is what we're going to talk about. What's wrong with Italian? Why are there so many exceptions? Why are there so many different rules? Then in the next sections, we're going to see a few examples of these exceptions and of how you can understand when a plural is singular, when it is masculine, and when it has a different meaning. So you can certainly deal with words having a plural and a singular because that's what most languages do. But what's wrong with Italian again? How many exceptions are there? That's confusing, and I can understand you. From the point of view of an Italian student, this can be really challenging. For example, when you're studying the singular and plural and the feminine and masculine of a word, you can find words that have a different meaning if the plural is masculine or feminine, words that are only used in the singular, words that are only used in the plural, words that are spelled the same in the singular and in the plural, irregular plurals. We won't talk about them today. It's going to take probably 1 or 2 more 4 lessons to explain all the irregular plurals that we have. Let's concentrate on some examples of other exceptions, okay? First, very generally speaking, I have put this as the title of this slide. We know that words that end with A are feminine and singular, words that end with E are feminine and plural, words that end with O are masculine and singular, and words that end with I are masculine and plural. For example, the word mamma, that means mom, ends with an A, it's a feminine singular word, and its plural is mamme, okay? That's a pretty regular one. Gatto, which means cat, ends with O, it's a masculine singular word, and its plural is gatti. That's how things go in general. But we know that there are many different cases. For example, the word insegnante, which means teacher, it ends with an E, and it's not a plural. It is a singular, but it can be both feminine and masculine. It depends on the person, of course, and you can use an article to explain whether you're talking about a man or a woman. So again, let's take these as our guidelines, knowing that we can find different situations, okay? Double plurals. So there are some words in Italian that have both a feminine and a masculine plural, and there are certain cases where their meaning changes. But we're starting first with words that have the same meaning. The word orecchio means ear, and it can have two plurals. Orecchi, that's the masculine one, and orecchie, that's the feminine one. The meaning does not change. Same thing with knee, ginocchio. It can have a masculine plural, ginocchi, and a feminine plural, ginocchia. Again, you can use both of them interchangeably. Now let's move on to those words that have a different meaning. Frutti and frutta. These are both plurals, but one is masculine and one is feminine, sorry. The masculine one is frutti, and we use it when we want to talk about the products of plants, while frutta, the feminine one, is used when we want to talk about the food category in general. Diti and dita. These are again two plurals. Diti is masculine and dita is feminine. They both mean fingers. But diti is used to talk about a specific finger, like for example the index finger, or rather fingers, because we're talking about a plural one here. And dita is used to talk about in general of fingers. So when you're referring to the fingers in general, do not use diti, use dita, okay? We have a few more examples in this group, bracci and braccia. The meaning is arms, but bracci, the masculine one, is actually used to describe objects or part of objects, while braccia is the actual word that describes arms as parts of the body, okay? Lenzuoli and lenzuola are our last example, and they both mean sheets, but lenzuoli is used when we talk about one or more sheets that are taken one by one. And lenzuola is the word that you need to use when you talk about the pair of sheets or the set of sheets that you use to make the bed. Lenzuola, okay? The singular word is lenzuolo, and the singular word of bracci or braccia is braccio, a masculine one. Now, words that are usually used only in the singular or only in the plural, this doesn't mean that they don't have both grammatical numbers, but they are mostly or almost only used in the singular or in the plural. Let's see some of them. Mountain names, for example, can only be used in the singular. So if you want to say, for example, that every month of April you do something specifically, you cannot use the word Aprils, which in Italian would sound something like gli aprili. It doesn't mean anything. The correct word is aprile. So you will have to find a way to turn around this little rule and make a different sentence. So, for example, every year in April, ogni anno in aprile, ogni anno ad aprile, okay? Then we have some food names like il grano, il riso, il pepe, il miele, wheat, rice, pepper, honey. These are group names, basically, so they are usually only used in the singular. They do have a plural, but it's not used in common conversations. Okay, so next we have physical feelings like la fame and la sete. These are hunger and thirst, and they only come in the singular. So on the one hand, this is even easier for you when you're learning because there is just one version of this word. Festivities or national holidays like Pasqua, Natale, Ramadan, These only come in the singular. You won't find le Pasque, for example, okay? But again, as I said for the month names, you will have to find a way to say that word not in the plural, but with a meaning of plural, okay? I hope this is clear enough. Then, words that are only used in the plural. Objects that are made of two equal elements, like the glasses, for example, gli occhiali, or I pantaloni, pants or trousers. Words that have a Latin origin, and even in Latin they didn't have the singular, like le ferie, le nozze, etc. Le ferie means the holidays, vacations, time off work, and le nozze means wedding celebrations, or just weddings, or even nuptials. That's one possible translation, but be careful when you use this translation. Always look at a context before. Now let's talk about some words that have the same spelling for both the singular and the plural, and the only way for you to distinguish them is to use the right article. Words that have an accent on the final letter, like il caffè, la città, can be used both in the singular and in the plural. So if you say prendo il caffè tutte le mattine, this means that you drink one coffee every morning. But if you go to a bar that has a variety of coffees, they will have molti caffè. La or le città. La città di Roma, that means the city of Rome. Le città in Italia sono piccole di solito. Usually cities in Italy are small. So the word does not change. You will be using articles and other speech parts that match the grammatical number of the word according to what you mean, of course. Then we have one-syllable words, and these have always the same spelling, both in the singular and plural. Il re, I re, the king, the kings, lo sci, gli sci, la gru, le gru. Okay, sci means ski, both the sport and the ski equipment, and gru means crane, and both the animal and the machinery. We have a few more examples in this group. Words that end with an I in the singular, okay? Analisi, l'analisi, le analisi. Ipotesi, le ipotesi, or l'ipotesi in the singular. Il brindisi, I brindisi. And there are some other words that work in the same way. Then there are words of foreign origin: quiz, sport, hotel, etc. So words that have a foreign origin have the same spelling in the singular and in the plural. They don't change. Okay, that's basically all I wanted to talk about today. These are the resources that I have used to prepare this presentation. I don't recommend them to you if you are just a beginner, because these are for very advanced learners or for native speakers. But don't worry, sooner or later you'll be able to use these resources too. I'm confident of that. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I really hope that this presentation was what you were looking for. If you would like to have more examples, or if you have questions for me, just drop an email or a comment to this post here on LanguaJob. I'll be happy to answer.